In this WrestleTalk news, a major Royal Rumble return blocked, WrestleMania 39 plans, and more CM Punk stuff, because this is our lives now. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos, because this week we haven't just had the news. We've also had mine and Luke's 3-word prediction shows, and Laurie's fantastic go-home show review of all of wrestling in 2022. Here's a moment out of context.
CM Punk was like, my mum made these muffins for everyone. And Tony Khan was like, everyone, come and have some of CM Punk's mum's muffins.
Support WrestleTalk! It's me, Ollie Davis. I'm back after my little Christmas break, where I had my first ever Christmas at my own house. My family came over, where me and my girlfriend cooked and hosted and ran games. My mum has cooked a giant meal for all of us ever since we were little kids, over 30 years ago. And this time she could sit back and enjoy being spoiled herself for a change of all the Christmas gifts I got, which did include a Warhammer 40k Elite starter set. That, being able to give back to my mum, was the best. But that was 3 whole days ago. Old news, Mum! Now I want more presents. Give me all the Rumble surprises, Triple H. Give me what I want. The game's first ever WrestleMania fully in charge could actually be one of the biggest additions of all time. Plans for multiple top returning stars like John Cena, Stone Cold Stephen Austin, and Rock the Dwayne Johnson. And instead of WrestleMania 1's Rock and Wrestling connection with the likes of Cyndi Lauper, Mania 39 could continue the less catchy, more soul-destroyingly social media influencer and wrestling connection, with Logan Paul unfortunately being the most naturally gifted professional wrestler of all time. But sing bye-bye Miss American Pie for one man, because according to a new report, Tyson Fury will not be able to feature on the showcase of the Immortal Part-Timers card, according to British tabloid The Sun. So do take this report with a block of salt the size and shape of Rupert Murdoch's bumhole. WWE have been plotting for Tyson Fury to make a cameo at the upcoming Royal Rumble Premium Live event, with the appearance setting up his match for WrestleMania 39 in April. The article doesn't say how he would feature, but you would expect it to be in the Men's Royal Rumble match, where he could start a feud with, I don't know, let's say Mo. Fury has already appeared multiple times for WWE since 2019, where he wrestled Braun Strowman at that year's Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia, and weirdly sang karaoke with Drew McIntyre at the end of last September's Clash at the Castle event in Wales. Aside from both appearances being rather naff, they do have something else in common. Neither was in the United States, which brings us to the reason why WWE's plans for him through the road to WrestleMania 39 can't happen. The Sun claimed Fury is banned from entering the US because of alleged ties to the Irish mob boss Daniel Kinahan. Fury and his younger brother Tommy have already been denied access to the United States this year for the latter's fight against Jake Paul. Apparently WWE's legal team are going into overdrive to sort the situation out, as Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are huge fans of Fury and wanted him to generate huge headlines and fan interest. But ultimately, for a change, WWE has to abide by what the government organizations decide, and Fury's return in the US at least looks slim and complicated. WWE were apparently set to offer Fury millions for an appearance, which is no surprise considering he was paid $15 million for his 2019 Saudi Arabia match. Who would you have Fury feud with if he did make it into the country? Fantasy Bookie's karaoke battle segments on SmackDown in the comments down below. But while we likely won't get Fury, The Rock, Cena, Stone Cold, and a Cody Rhodes return are all still on the Spanish announcer's table. Dave Meltzer has described John Cena as probable, Rock for Dwayne Johnson as possible, and Steve Austin is probably the surest of the three. It's just a question of how he feels, and he's gonna do what he feels like doing. WrestlingNews.co have followed this up with more clarification on how a probable compares to a possible. They report the first night of WrestleMania has a WWE Championship match penciled in of Seth Rollins versus either Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre. The second night would then be Roman Reigns against The Rock. But if The Rock can't free up his insanely busy movie schedule and the launch of the XFL, Roman will take on Cody Rhodes, with McIntyre presumably facing Rollins on night one. They also note that WWE wants to go back to separate top titles for Raw and SmackDown in 2023. It was previously speculated that split would happen at WrestleMania, where Roman could lose one or both belts. WrestlingNews.co write, though, it's still not clear how WWE plan to do this. But if the Rollins match on night one is penciled in to defend a world championship and his name is not Roman, the split will presumably happen on the road too. How would you split the currently unified championships? I think the best way to do it is just create a new championship to be won on a tournament in Raw. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, all of the Bloodline's 6 belts will be fused into one mega championship that wraps around all of them like a giant belt. On the women's side of things, it was previously rumored that former WWE star Kairi Sane would feature in the Rumble match. All the stories right now, that could actually be one of the most low-key significant. Kairi is the current inaugural IWGP Women's Champion in New Japan and Stardom. New Japan have a strong working relationship with AEW, but in recent months, it appears Triple H's WWE is trying to chip that away. New Japan's never openweight champion Carl Anderson is a current WWE guy. Perhaps they agreed for Kairi to wrestle in the Rumble as a trade for Anderson competing in next week's Wrestle Kingdom. Right now, however, Meltzer says no contact has been made between WWE and Stardom to arrange that spot. Speaking of AEW though, CM Punk's story will never end confirmed. Because are you even a wrestler if you don't have a podcast? Dax Harwood will be launching his FTR with Dax Harwood podcast on Thursday the 29th of December. The first episode has been advertised with the simple title, Punk. Not that CM Punk will appear in any way on the show, it'll just be Dax talking about their relationship. And thanks to a collection of preview quotes to hype the podcast's debut, we know that it does include the backstage brawl. Dax traces Punk's media scrum comments back to Hangman Page's promo to build their Double or Nothing match. The one with the unscripted comment alluding to rumors that Punk wanted Colt Cabana gone from AEW. While Dax told him afterwards he thought their promo segment went great, Punk was like, I'm kind of feeling a certain way about it. Punk did apparently show no signs that he was unhappy with the backstage environment, though, going into All Out. Dax described him as still so joyous and happy to be in the wrestling business. To be honest, he told me when they were going to put the belt on him that he didn't want the belt. He said, I just want to have fun. But he understood that Tony putting the belt on him would put AEW in a better light. Sure worked out for them. He took it begrudgingly a little bit, but he took the belt. Apparently Punk loved the backstage locker room in AEW so much, he would take FTR, MJF, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and many others out for dinner, and always paying for it. You're exposing the business, Dax! He also bought all the girls in the locker room Starbucks gift cards, and had one of the girls hand them out anonymously, to recognize how they were busting their ass to try and get the attention that WWE's women's division was getting. So when Brawl Out happened, it caught a lot of people by surprise. Dax recalled the moment he found out. He had parted in the locker room with the other roster members and their families, then he went back to his hotel. The first he'd heard about the media scrum was when CM Punk FaceTimed him, still covered in blood from his Moxley match, and said, I want to let you know, you're gonna hear some things, I want you to hear it from me. This is what happened. When Dax asked if he was okay, Punk replied, everything is fine, it's died down, we're good. That's when I first heard about it. I'm almost entirely certain Brawl Out was a shoot. It was a real thing that happened. But Dax's comments here could support what I really hope, that it was a shoot that has since been turned into a work. Hopefully everything really did cool down like Punk told Dax, and everything since has been a storyline. Or he was just saying it okay to calm his concerned mate down. I don't know anymore! Regardless, that's what Dax hopes for too, making the impassioned cool. This is my plea to all 4 guys. Please find a way to make it work. If we can make it work, we can set up the future of professional wrestling for a long time, and we can change the course of professional wrestling for a very long time. When you think about it, unselfishly, we're doing this for 20, 30 years down the road so guys and girls can make a living. Until CM Punk comes back to wrestling though, the only thing that will make me happy is all of you going and watching our Wrestling in 2022 Was Insane wrap-up video. It's Laurie talking about the craziest year ever in professional wrestling for almost an hour. And it's one of the best videos I think we've ever made. We're all super proud, so please go and watch it now to check it out. And share it to as many places as possible. Reddit, Twitter, your Wrestling Mates WhatsApp group. Because if it goes well, we can make more video essay stuff like that in the future. Here's a look.
Because Kendrick was announced for a match with Jon Moxley on AEW Dynamite, but comments he made in interviews in 2011 and 2013 resurfaced. These touched on things such as the moon being a hollow space station for aliens, reptilian people being the global elite who live underground, the sun not actually being hot,